Hi everyone. We're here today to talk about the herb of mistletoe.
'Tis the season.
Exactly. So Christmas, it's the month of Christmas. We're in December right now. So that's why we're talking about mistletoe. And the legends of mistletoe, there's many stories around them.
Not just for Mama kissing Santa Claus.
Yes, exactly. Now, it was actually a very honored plant from the Druids honored it and considered it one of the more important plants. They harvested it usually at the summer solstice, and it was a whole big ceremony. Like the Druids would wear all white, and they would have a white sheet on the ground to catch the mistletoe as they cut it, often with a golden kind of knife or reaper kind of thing.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so they had a whole ceremony because it was considered one of the top 3 sacred plants to them.
Oh wow!
And like I said, it was harvested at the summer solstice. So right, like it's a very fire kind of festival. But the mistletoe itself is somewhat considered by many as a parasite because it's like the cuckoo bird. The cuckoo bird never built its own nest. It laid eggs in other birds' nests. So the mistletoe actually grows in deciduous or non-deciduous trees. So like oak is where the Druids.
And that means.
So anything that loses its leaves, so not an evergreen tree.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
okay.
And the reason why the Druids always picked it out of the oak tree is because for them, the oak tree was considered a very sacred tree as well.
So it's kind of like a double whammy, a sacred plant on a sacred tree.
Exactly. And at summer solstice and winter solstice is when the oak king and the holly king come to battle.
Oh, yes, I remember.
They battle 2 times a year. And when at summer solstice, it's the oak king that's dying and the holly king takes over.
Oh.
And the days start to get longer from there. Because the holly king likes darkness, the oak king likes the sun. And he makes the days longer, right?
Oh, I love that.
So it grows like a really big bushy ball on the branches.
So it makes Christmas balls on the tree, does it?
Yeah, it does. And birds will make nests in it.
Really?
And they eat their seeds or their berries, and then
the seeds go planted, like how nature works.
Exactly. And they tend to like to poop them into juniper bushes of all things. But,
really? Wow. And this plant really likes to get around, doesn't it?
It doesn't grow on juniper bushes, but juniper bushes actually really like the mistletoe and the poop because it helps to fertilize and help them grow.
Oh, really?
Yes, yeah. So it's interesting.
Like full circle kind of.
Exactly. So the Druids would climb the oak trees and get the mistletoe out of it because the mistletoe attaches itself to a tree and grows from there. It doesn't just grow on its own. And this is what it looks like when it's dried. It's just little pieces. And of course we've seen the Christmas mistletoe.
Yeah, everyone's seen that.
The Druids would make a drink out of it. It's a little hallucinogenic.
I was going to say, weren't we just talking about it's poisonous?
It is poisonous. It is poisonous.
We're not recommending drinking.
We're not recommending drinking, but the Druids did it. They obviously had a special recipe, but it's also healing. So it's a poisonous healing kind of plant. But like we were just talking, a lot of times you have to go to the venom source in order to get the antidote for it. The mistletoe's also, I always like to, when I do sell mistletoe.
Yeah, we do sell some different herbs here. Mistletoe is one of them. Oops,
so you get a little card usually with it, and I always put underneath what other names it goes by, and Herbe de la Croix is the other name it goes by, and this is because it's the herb of the cross. So legend has it, Jesus's cross was made of mistletoe.
I didn't know that.
But it is also an herb of romance, peace, fertility, and vitality. So the Druids would often drink it for that vitality.
That makes sense.
And then the Druids, like I said, would harvest it at summer solstice. But here's some other things about mistletoe that was kind of cool. So mistletoe was very much seen as a love herb as well. So a lot of people will get married under it.
Oh, I guess that makes sense why people, kiss under it.
Yes, but there's actually a little story too about why we kiss under the mistletoe.
Oh.
So mistletoe's in a lot of European cultures. So the story comes from the Norse culture, why we kiss under the mistletoe. And the mistletoe was a sign of love and peace, as it was in many other cultures. And legend says that the goddess Frigg lost her son, the god Baldur, to an arrow made of mistletoe, because it is poisonous, right?
Oh, yeah.
But after his death, she vowed that anyone who passed beneath it would be kissed, and that mistletoe would never be used again as a weapon.
Oh,
isn't that cool?
That's so sweet.
And back in the day, there's a Greek tradition as well during Saturnalia.
Okay.
Which was a celebration of Saturn, the god Saturn, and many other things. There was presents given at that point in the year. It was also traditional to forgive debts at that point of the year in December, right around the 25th.
I wish they would still do that.
I know. Where's the debt forgiving gone to?
Yeah, that's the perfect gift.
Exactly. But unfortunately, they don't do that anymore because they wanted people to go into the new year with that clean slate.
Oh.
So a lot of people it doesn't mean every debt was forgiven, but a lot of debts were forgiven. So, maybe you can make it a family tradition if a sibling has borrowed money or, children or whatever.
Plate clean.
Yeah, that is forgiven. We're starting again fresh.
Merry Christmas.
I think that would make a much more peaceful holiday.
Less grudges being held.
Yeah, and presents are great too, but debt forgiven is also a great thing.
And forgiveness as a whole, even.
Exactly, part of the Christmas spirit, as they would say. So keep that in mind as making that part of your tradition, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know.
It's always up to you. I mean, not everything needs. You forgive everything.
And funny, mistletoe is also a good protection against werewolves.
Really?
Yes. I'm not sure why, but it is.
What if I want to bring the werewolves to me?
And the Druids also saw it in their drink as a key to a connection to the other worlds.
Oh, okay.
Because it does have that
hallucinogenic
property about it. So it's also what I call a spell booster. So that and dragon's blood are both really powerful spell boosters, and that means it activates magic in any spell, whether it's crystal or herb or whatever. It will umph that power, kind of thing.
It's the booster jet for the rocket.
Exactly. So even if you're doing something like, say, a crystal grid, you could add a little mistletoe on your grid, and it will boost and amplify all the crystals on there.
Yeah.
I just think I knocked a ring down.
I was like, what's that?
It is poisonous, though.
No teas, no.
Yes, exactly.
No using this inside your body, please.
But it's really good in fertility spells, in love spells, in spells that you want to do to create peace, whether it's within yourself, within your life, within a relationship, whatever it might be, because very much so in the ancient Greek and Roman times, marriages happened under mistletoe, and that's part of the reason why we kiss under it as well. But if mistletoe was even on the table or in the room when there were two warring kings that maybe came together, arms and weapons had to be laid down for at least 24 hours.
Really?
And a lot of peace negotiations were done with mistletoe in the room.
Wow, mistletoe has quite the history.
Yeah, so even if you weren't coming in for peace negotiations, if you entered the room against your enemy and there happened to be mistletoe in the room, you had to lay down your weapons for 24 hours and have peace for 24 hours. After that, you go back to war. But it was very much like you'd be cursed if you...
Oh, geez. It's like kind of like breaking a mirror.
Yeah, exactly. So it is a really good peace bringer if you want peace. And especially with Christmas coming up, who doesn't want a little mistletoe? It's good to have a little fake mistletoe maybe hanging, but maybe bring in some real mistletoe.
Sprinkle around.
Yes. And watch pets.
Don't put it somewhere cats or children
or dogs or whatever can get it. You know, you can go to the dollar store and get little spell bottles.
Yeah.
And just put a little bit in there and it's the same thing as having it out
Exactly.
in your
It doesn't
room.
need to be sprinkled anywhere necessarily.
Or if you got Ziploc sandwich bags, they work just
whatever
as well.
works, whatever is economical for you.
It doesn't have to be fancy.
No, whatever's practical.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, so that's a little bit of information and history about the herb mistletoe.
That was cool. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay, we'll catch you again.
All right, bye.
Bye.